Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is there anything else that you can think of?
Did you have a question?
I had one. It kind of trails off, but during the short time that you were at Auschwitz, did you ever hear of Dr. Evil or the Angel of Death, also known as Joseph Milich, I believe you pronounce his name?
Well, that was Mengele.
Mengele, is that how you pronounce it? What information did you hear about him?
Didn't hear much information. I met him in person.
You met him?
And he was going to the left, to the right. You know, he chose the people that he wanted on his working team. You know, and the others were chosen to die.
So you were gotten chosen by him.
He was the most handsomest man. He was a doctor, and he did medical. I would say medical things where he you say that experiments, that's right.
Okay, so what I mean is, did you know any survivors from his experiments?
From his
survivors, any survivors from the experiments that he had done?
One, and that was a hand, something with hands.
Whoop.
Lights going out.
So so you did know a survivor of his experiments. And what was the hand? Do you remember?
What was they were injecting something into the skin. And they wanted to know if the skin will get darker or not darker or something.
Wow. When did you find out about that?
Well, I met the lady, and she was here visiting one time.
So this is years later?
Yes, yes. I want to talk to you before, when I was in Öderan.
Yes.
That they painted our clothes.
Yeah. So this is the actual
every
dress.
week. Yes, my mother's dress.
This was your mother's dress?
No buttons, no decorations. It was she wore an apron over it when she worked. That was it.
And this was?
Every Friday we got painted. This is already falling off the white cloth. Right. Yes, anyway.
And this was to?
In Öderan, so we don't run away.
Because people knew that was the symbol?
Yeah.
Markings?
Yeah, can put it back.
We were talking a little bit about whether you ever heard of any plans to escape.
No.
Or attempts.
No. There was an underground working on a dream to hopefully, if the war is over, because the way they were scared to, they knew that they couldn't run away without ammunition, without anything. How can you fight, you know? So.
Did you ever hear stories of revolt? You know, there was an uprising at Birkenau.
Right.
Where they tried unsuccessfully, obviously. Did you ever hear of any other?
No.
What about individual? Like, did you ever hear stories where?
They couldn't go much far. There was too much, soldiers and too much.
So it was pretty much a total feeling of isolation.
That's right.
Would you consider yourself to be, what kind of physical state were you in when you were? Good. Were you were healthy because of your mother's association in the kitchen?
My aunt was not feeling well that day, and so she was very pale. And we found a piece of cigarette paper. Cigarette is the European coffee brand, okay? And somehow the paper was flowing there. And my mother picked it up and she rubbed it against her face. So when she passed, and we all had to be naked. When she passed, you know, she had these pinkish cheeks. And this way she passed. And my cousin was young, Adita, you know. And we pushed her under between two legs.
Oh, no. So you guys came up with some tricks
Oh, absolutely. You have to.
to survive. It was...
Yeah.
Was there any were there any gangs, not gangs, that's a terrible word, but groups, segregation within, I mean, were there, you know, were group against group, was there ever any sort of internal struggle between?
No.
It was all, we all worked together?
Absolutely. We had, you know, once a month they had like an entertainment where people had performed for us. We had big talents, you know, in the groups.
Were they Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh, so they allowed you to entertain each other?
And after, you know, the top lady, she comes in and she overlooks everything. And after she leaves, that's when they started.
What did you do at night in the barracks? I mean, besides try and sleep, you know, 7 wide.
Well, trying to sleep, and then on Friday night, we crawled up on the highest bed, and we were learning different songs, Jewish songs, and that was fun. You know, we had at least entertainment.
Sure. Something to keep yourself sane.
Yes. And then, or we wanted to cook, and talked about cookbooks, which is the better cookbook. And I know.
Sure. What about, did you guys try to educate each other while you were in the camps, or was
Educate to what?
Educate as far as...
Okay. In Theresienstadt, there was a better way of educating people. And I went to, as they say, one of those classes until the person who ran it was taken and sent to Auschwitz. So the same thing is with the story of Brundibar. You heard of it, you know, they played the Brundibar every week with the understanding that 2 or 3 children have to know what's behind in case one of them has to be shipped to Auschwitz. So they always had extras. And the Brundibar played last week in La Jolla, and I went with my husband.
How was that for you?
Very nice. This is a story of children more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it existed, but it had to be constant, you know. So to be constant, they had new children learning the parts.
Sure.